This is Hog Reaction, presented by Gameday Lodge.
Jefferson in an empty set. Got trips to the left. He's going to throw. Fay toward the corner. Pass. They fight for it, and it is caught. Caught by Rocket Sanders for a touchdown.
The perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team-building activities. Just search Gameday Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
I'm behind Lisa on the bridge, and I have jumped off. I am in the river.
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
I want you to go back to 2018, 2019 under Chad Morris, how you felt as this team proceeded to go 2-10 back-to-back season. No SEC wins. You only had 2 non-conference wins per year. This feels a heck of a lot different and so much better. As we welcome you into our broadcast studios, this is Hog Reaction presented by Gameday Lodge. Alongside Derek Ruskin, I'm Ty Richardson, Mason Choate running the controls. And Derek, quite a difference from not just last season, but the 2 seasons prior under Chad Morris, the final season of Brett Bielema. There is a different sense, a different feeling within this state right now, and a lot more people happy this Thanksgiving weekend than they were these last couple years, bud.
Well, and it's it's been much talked about that they have swept the trophy games this season and will get a shot at a 4th trophy in a bowl game that could be in the state of Florida coming up here in a few weeks or so. It's just COVID was a terrible thing, but what Sam Pittman and his staff did to make a negative into a positive, all of these super seniors, all this experience coming back, it has been crucial to their success and to turn this into an 8-4 season, which no one outside the most diehard of Razorback fans probably expected anything like this. But they took that, and to his credit, him and his staff, they turned it into something that definitely worked out in their favor to turn this into an 8-win season with a possibility of 9.
Derek, I think you said it best. No one truly believed this team had a shot at 8 football games. I know, I'll be open and honest, I had this team winning 6 at beginning of the season. And I went low because I didn't want to get burned, and I was hoping I was wrong. And let me tell you, Derek Ruskin, I am so happy that I was dead wrong about this football team. And if you look at the way they competed against the likes of Alabama, how close they came to Ole Miss, this football team this season, what they've done, and we've got a chance to talk with Hayden Henry, Bumper Pool, KJ Jefferson, who has had a magnificent November. You always remember Frank Broyles saying they remember in November, and I know for Frank and so many other Arkansas fans that are either looking down or still with us today, they are so proud of what this team has accomplished this year, and they're not done. This bowl game, hopefully they'll get matched up against a premier opponent, someone that you would like to play and compete against, whether it's Florida, whether it's Memphis, whether it's Houston, whether it's Nashville. Derek, I don't really care. I'm just hoping that Arkansas can end the season on a high note like they did when they captured the Battle Line rivalry today.
I mean, there's just so much. You look at the game itself, but then you start to spin it forward, and you start to look at all the momentum that this program has now. And you've given, arguably, the best recruiter in college football, or one of them, in Sam Pittman, all of this ammunition to go do his job in the offseason, all of this momentum. It's going to be really it's to watch the trajectory and to watch how this all continues to play out moving forward. A bowl win would also be a big part of that. But this is quite a turnaround. The likes of which in college football, I mean, you think about it from the total. We're not just talking about, Ty, a program that had they were okay and then they made a coaching change. This program was totally at the bottom of the best conference in college football, and now they went 8-4. They finished 500 in the league for the first time since 2015 when they went 5-3 that year, and it's a story in which I don't think enough people, even here at home, are appreciative of the job that they've done to turn this thing around.
Yeah, because, I mean, you think about how deep within the well of this conference yard. We know, I mean, Derek, you know this better than I do. You've been doing this longer than I have, how difficult it is to navigate through the realm of not just the SEC, but the SEC West. I mean, you dominated an SEC East team today. I'm not so sure that Arkansas couldn't finish second in the SEC East, but you find yourself in the SEC West, and we know what Ty Story did as of the Western Kentucky quarterback coming into here. We know what happened in North Texas. So many fiascos under Chad Morris, and Sam Pittman comes in and says, we have all we need. And you hear his statement, and you just kind of like, you look to yourself, you look to your buddies, it's like he doesn't actually believe that this team that they have as current rosters is high enough. But you got to remember, Arkansas, it's not like they've had the 51st best recruiting class in the country, Derek. They had, when Sam Pittman got his first cycle in, it was 29th. Then it was, I think, 21st, and now they're going to probably finish with the top 20 class. They've had talent on this campus, and no one is more talented on this football team than Traylon Burks, who has a glorious day once again on what I'm going to call senior day for himself. He's just unguardable one-on-one. Anytime they run these zero blitzes, you know what KG's going to do. Once again, Traylon Burks shows up in a big-time game, in a rivalry game, and, man, whatever NFL team picks him up in the NFL draft, they are getting a special young man who's going to work his absolute tail off at the next level.
I mean, it's just so remarkable, the hands and just the way that he can do his job, and the one of the many highlights of the game, obviously, just absolutely just blowing past one of the Missouri cornerbacks and KJ putting it right on the money. So, yes, it's going to be fascinating to watch his professional career play out. But Arkansas gets another year as KJ Jefferson as their quarterback. And Ty, if you look at the growth he made from last year to this year, what's going to happen next year? Mm-hmm. I mean, that is good. It's got to be a scary thought for coaches who coordinate defenses in the SEC, and particularly in the SEC West, because when he gets rolling, it's really difficult for anybody to bring him down. And we're not just talking about the Missouris and the we're talking the top teams in this league have had issues with that kid, with either with the passing game or with the way he runs a football. And assuming he stays healthy throughout this entire offseason, he's going to be tough again next year, I think.
Derek, he had issues with accuracy last year and this season, and the mechanics, if you've watched him, I mean, he was, I know heading into this game, I looked at the math, he was completing 76% of his passes. He goes 15 for 19 today for 79, so I would assume that's probably up closer to 77. And what I noticed, what stood out to me, the three best quarterbacks in the SEC are as follows. It's Will Rogers at Mississippi State, it's Matt Corral at Ole Miss, and it's Bryce Young at Alabama. And KJ in those games had 10 total touchdowns, it was either a little more than 800 or 900 yards, and he was over 70-something completion percentage. This guy competes, and like you just said, it is a scary situation for the Pete Goldings and all the other defensive coordinators in this league. I'll tell you right now, you better circle your calendar for that Alabama-Arkansas matchup, I believe the first week of October this next year, because he had a great game against Bryce Young this past week. And I think that game's going to be outstanding. If Kendall Briles sticks around for another season and the continuity stays within the same this offense, we saw something spectacular when Bobby Petrino was here offensively, Derek. I think you can see another offensive explosion from this unit if Briles sticks around for year 3.
And my favorite part about his game is that he's not careless with the football. I mean, he does not put the ball in danger. And that takes so much pressure off of a lot of different parts of your football team when you have a quarterback that is not going to do anything stupid out there with the football. He's not going to throw late across the middle or throw with no feet on the ground and just kind of wing it and hope. He is really, really smart with the decisions that he makes in the passing game, and he doesn't try and force the ball anymore. He is really grown as a complete quarterback, and I love the fact that he just doesn't do anything that's all that risky out there with the football.
I want to say, Derek, his last interception was the throwaway ball at the end of the first half against Auburn, and not turning the ball over is a huge part of why this offense has had a lot of success at times. You're welcome to jump in here. This is Hog Reaction presented by Gameday Lodge. You can call Derek or myself at 877-377-6963. We're taking calls. We're taking texts like William in Jonesboro who texted in. Derek says, what a wonderful feeling to get the monkey off their backs. You think about the Texas A&M game, which you hadn't won since 2011. This game, which you hadn't won since 2015. You beat Texas, which I know the last time you competed against Longhorns, you beat them in the Texas Bowl. You got the Bs. You got 3 of the 4 Bs that Coach talked about. You beat LSU for the first time since 2015. This was a year of first for quite some time for Sam Pittman, and he had a quiet confidence in himself. They thought they were going to beat Alabama last week, and they darn almost did. But yep. I think what is so unique about this team is they're not overly braggadocious, they're not overly cocky, but there's a sense of a quiet confidence about it that kind of submerged itself within the Arkansas fan base, especially heading into this game today, even with a kind of lackluster first half, Derek.
Yeah, the first half was not particularly exciting for anybody to watch. Just the defense. Either the defenses were just totally outstanding, or the offenses were just incompetent. But in the second half, we saw Arkansas's offense pick it up, and then we saw Arkansas's defense hold. And this is I don't know if this has been said yet on any of the Learfield stuff or not, but Connor Bazelak in the second half threw for 14 yards. 14. That's it. That's all he did. And sure, it was a nice story with the running back going over 200 yards, but they're trailing and they're trying to pass to get back in the ball game a lot of the time, Ty, and they couldn't do it throughout the entire second half, particularly. Only 14 passing yards in the second half for Missouri. And I feel like this is the way, proper order has been restored, because let's be totally honest here. Arkansas is a better football program than the University of Missouri. And what has happened over the last 5 years is a miscarriage of justice. Arkansas should not lose 5 in a row to Missouri. Missouri historically, I believe, has a all-time record below 500. Arkansas is one of the 25 best programs in the history of the entire sport. And you just can't lose 5 in a row to those guys anymore. And they end that and get the trophy, which is nice, but it's just you can't. I never thought Arkansas should lose to Missouri, certainly not 5 years in a row. So that trend is reversed, and maybe they should win 5 out of the next 6 against these guys. We'll see.
I'm going to be honest. When I heard about the 10-car pileup in the tunnel, in the Bobby Hopper tunnel, I thought that was a bad omen of what was to come today. By the way, hope everyone's safe. Hope everyone's okay. I haven't really gotten an update on that. I just saw that on social media. So, again, anyone involved and anyone's friends or family that have been involved, hope everyone's okay. But I thought to myself, this is not a good sign of what could come today. And then, Bazelak have a guy, I want to say it was on 3rd down in their first drive that was wide open after an early PI call, and he just missed him. And the wide receiver was open by a good 5 yards. And I said to myself, and I'm sitting next to a few Morning Rush listeners watching the game, Derek, and I said, maybe this is Arkansas Day. And Arkansas obviously would go on to win 34-17, but first half offensively weren't clicking. The defense stood tall, and not just in the first half, but throughout the game. But man, for whatever reason, the Missouri defense was all over you in that first half.
Yeah, they were, and then as we have seen, and here's another thing that I don't think is appreciated, because all we heard about during the down times was, man, at halftime, there's no halftime adjustments, and Arkansas always loses in the second half, and there's no adjustments. Well, in the last 2 seasons, I think we've seen the total opposite of that, and no one has really said anything about it. The way this staff fixes things at halftime is spectacular. I mean, how many times blown leads? I don't even know if there has been any second half blown leads in the Pittman era, maybe 1 or 2, but certainly not any this year. It's just this sounds basic, but considering where we were, it's such a competent organization over there now. I mean, just everybody knows what they're doing and they know how to do their job. And I'm sure it's not as rosy and happy on the inside as it is on the outside at all times. But hey, they're getting wins, and they've made a lot of people excited about Razorback football for the first time in a long time around this state.
We've got a lot to get to here on Hog Reaction. We're going to take you up until 9 o'clock tonight. Again, it's Hog Reaction presented by Gameday Lodge. Derek Ruskin, Ty Richardson, your calls, your text at 877-377-6963.
You're listening to Hog Reaction presented by Gameday Lodge.
Touchdown! Whoa!
Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith is a place to be if you're looking for quality, certified, pre-owned vehicles. And when we're talking trucks, we're talking Randall Ford. Whether you're wanting one that's one of the Leadfoot Grays, we have those. Raptors, oh yeah, we have those. If you're looking for the Venom R, they're built specially for Randall Ford. I have a gorgeous lifted Venom R sitting right here by me. So come by and check out all the trucks, all the selection today at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith at Randall Ford.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Need a reason to smile? River Valley Smile Center can give you one. We are a comprehensive dental practice located in the heart of Fort Smith. From cosmetic dentistry to orthodontics, implants to sedation, we have everything you need for a brighter, healthier smile. Find out why we've been voted the River Valley's best of the best winner 4 years in a row by giving us a call at 479-646-0706. That's 479-646-0706.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Crabtree RV Center, leading the River Valley in sales and service for over 70 years. Founded in 1950, Crabtree RV Center has grown into one of the largest family-owned and operated RV dealerships in Northwest Arkansas, located on 17 acres, including a 26,000 square foot indoor showroom. Crabtree RV Center has everything you need, all in one convenient location. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas, making your family's dreams come true.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Herod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Links at Chaffee Crossing, located in Fort Smith, has the best barbecue in the River Valley, hands down. Check out Links at Chaffee Crossing's Facebook page for their daily specials and live music schedule. Links at Chaffee Crossing has dine-in or patio dining with a full view of the golf course. Also, stop by their full bar for a cold beer or a cocktail. Need a place to watch the Hog games? Links at Chaffee Crossing has that too. Get linked up at Links at Chaffee Crossing, 11707 Custard Boulevard in Fort
Fort Smith.
Make a Wake Bait and Tackle on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma has everything a fisherman needs. Rods, reels, tackle, plastics, all kinds of great baits to catch a wall hanger. Rods starting at $69.95. The biggest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reaction Innovation, Bobby Garland, Lake Fortgugan, and more. And Make a Wake has Daiwa rods and reels, and they repair them too. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Gameday Lodge.
Jefferson going to throw a fade to Burks, caught it midfield. Trailing inside the Bama 40. He's got a chance to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Got a text from Chuck and Jack saying, we want Clemson. The opportunity to play the Tigers and Dabo Swinney. Ruskin, we're going to hear nothing about what bowl game that my uncle's father-in-law's sister heard that we were playing in for these next couple weeks. I guarantee you on Ruskin and Zach, I guarantee you on Halftime, and I guarantee you on the Morning Rush that we are going to get tons of calls and text about they heard this from this source that we're playing here or that. But it's bowl picking season. I guess we'll find out where the Hogs are playing next Sunday, my man.
Yeah, and it could very well be Florida, and I did a little research on this. So they have not won a bowl game in Florida since 1978, the famous Orange Bowl with Roland Sales for 200-plus yards in that game. Now, they've only played 5 times in Florida since then in a bowl game, 0 for 5. And they haven't played in a bowl game in Florida since 07 Capital One Bowl, following that 06 season where they won the West. They lost that game 17-14 to Wisconsin. The head coach was Brett Bielema. So there you go, looking to go back to Florida. And you know, Pittman has done stuff that hasn't been done either in a long time or ever in this season. So why not be the first coach to win a Florida bowl game since Lou Holtz? That sounds pretty good.
Might as well. He's a coach that's done a lot of firsts. This is Hog Reaction along with Derek Ruskin. I'm Ty Richardson, Mason Choate handling the controls, and it is presented by Gameday Lodge. Now, I know November is coming to an end, but Jason and Sarah Everett, they still have room for you in December. Corporate retreats, golf trips, team building activities, and this is a great opportunity for all you business owners or managers to set the new year off right with planning and goal setting retreats. And if the Gameday Lodge is closed up, if it's booked up, check out their Green Gables Lodge as well. Plus, spring golfing trips. Branson, for those who don't know, is home to some of the best golf courses in all of the United States of America. I've gotten a chance to see, I haven't played any of the courses, but to see some of the courses, they are awesome. At the Gameday Lodge in Branson, you'll find 10 bedrooms, 19 beds, sleeping up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, pool and poker table, Bago, outdoor basketball court, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills. You're 5 minutes from Table Rock Lake, a walk, 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City, Arkansas Razorback theme rooms, Chiefs theme rooms, Cowboys theme rooms. Check Gameday Lodge out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO. Let's take our first call of the night. Lane, who's coming home from the game. Lane, you're on Hog Reaction. Go ahead, my man.
Hey, guys. First of all, happy birthday, Sam Pittman. And one hell of a game, guys. And we got to give kudos to Barry Odom for that defensive plan he called. The defense bent a little bit, but they didn't break all night. We were at the game. Great game, man. That's one of the best defensive performances I believe I've seen all year. I mean, they really let the hammer down on Missouri. And to see them kids run across there and grab that trophy and what it means to them in this program is awesome. To this fan base, Pittman, thank you and your coaching staff for restoring the pride in this fan base and in this program. God bless you guys. Thank you.
Lane, appreciate the call. Now, Derek, help me out with this. It's Odom's birthday today, and It's Pittman's birthday on Sunday, right?
Pittman turns 60 on Sunday.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. And I just wanted to make sure I've got that verified. But, yeah, I know this is a great weekend for both of those Razorback coaches, and I know they're very happy. I mean, let's go back to last season, Derek. Coach Odom's defense got carved up, got ripped apart by the same quarterback. What changed from that last year to this year? I mean, was it a personnel? Was it just a better scheme? What difference did you see from last year to this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's just That's a great question. I didn't think that Missouri had as very good receivers this time around. I thought Arkansas had a clear advantage there, obviously with Burks, but even with what we saw from Warren today and a couple other guys. It didn't look like Bazelak had the weapons that maybe Missouri has in the past in the passing game. And if they were there, then, man, Arkansas did a great job putting the clamps on them because they're, again, Missouri threw for 14 yards in the second half, which is just shocking. That doesn't happen in college football in 2021. In 1981, that may happen in college football, but in 2021, 14 yards passing, especially when you're trailing and you're trying to come back when you know you have to throw the football, that was stunning to watch.
Yeah, it was gross. And I know Coach Drinkowitz was getting very frustrated on the sidelines, but I think your point is valid because Aaron Murray on the CBS broadcast said the exact same thing you did. And I know Missouri, and I can't think of the kid's name, it's number one wide receiver, might be the number one recruit in the country out of St. Louis that is currently committed to them. And I know they desperately want him on campus right now because, like you said, they just didn't have a lot of guys that could make plays out wide. Next caller, let's take Gary in Fort Smith. Gary, you're on Hog Reaction presented by Gameday Lodge. Go ahead, my man.
Hey, guys. First of all, I just want to say thank you to those 29 seniors and super seniors who stuck around, and also to Utsey and John Ridgway and Williams for the transfer portal coming here. Without those guys, we would definitely not be 8-4, and all with the transfer portal the way it is, all those guys had opportunities to go somewhere else or do something else with their life. And I think for all of us who've lived through the Chad Morris era, we owe them a big debt of gratitude for getting us out of the trash heap and getting us back on the road to respectability. And just a big thank you to those guys. And to Traylon, if that was his last game, man, I look forward to seeing him on Sundays. And it was just a great team win. And, it's funny or ironic how, Kiffin, Drinkowitz, and Pittman come to the league at the same time. Not too far-fetched to believe that only Sam Pittman's going to be still in the same job within the next year, because I don't think Missouri's going to keep Drinkowitz around, and Kiffin, he's going to hop to whoever the highest bidder is. But anyway, I love our coach and I love our program, and again, thank you to those guys for all they did to bring us back. And I'll just hang up and listen.
Gary, appreciate the call. And I know there have been points this season where you've been frustrated with either Coach Odom or Coach Briles, but what they did today, particularly both guys in the second half, really is the defense throughout the game, but Kendall had a great second half called. I just think next season, if you are able to retain him, because he's going to have some offers, people aren't going to just look over the progression of KJ Jefferson this past season, Derek. But if you're able to keep him for another year and Coach Odom's back for another year and they keep the same system in place and they can retain a lot of these other assistant coaches as well. I know they're losing a lot this year, but kind of like you felt in Gary's call, there is a lot of excitement brewing around this Arkansas football team, and for good reason if you can keep these young men believing like these fans seem to believe in their head football coach.
Yeah, and it's another point on the quarterback play because I've got it pulled up right here. KJ completed 8 of his last 9 passes in the game with a touchdown in there. And then there's a string in Bazelak's performance. He completed a 26-yarder. And then the next 8 passes, 6 of them were incomplete. 2 of them went for negative yards. So there's an 8-pass string there for Bazelak in the Mizzou offense where they either had incomplete passes or they went backwards in the passing game. And right there, that's the Arkansas defense taking over there in the second half against Missouri. And that is the story of the next few weeks or so, isn't it? Is what's going to happen contract-wise, coordinator-wise? Are they going to stay? Is there going to be some movement there? Mm-hmm. That's the big storyline for me going into the next few weeks here as we wait on this bowl game to happen.
And as much as I'm going to be intrigued what bowl game they end up, Derek, I'm with you. I think that conversation trumps where they're going to play bowling because It's just, and we've seen it on college coaches. And for a while, Clemson, I want to say, only had 1 or 2 coaches turnover for a good chunk of Dabo's time. And I know they're not what many expected them to be this season. But that was one of the reasons Clemson had such a strong team for a number of years, is because they were consistent. And you think about some of the better teams in college football or in the National Football League, a lot of that is due to consistency. You think about the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have had, Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. The Ravens have had Brian Billick and Harbaugh. You think about Alabama having Nick Saban as long as they've had him. And I think Kurt Ferentz at Iowa, we know has a pretty salty team every year, is the longest tenured coach in college football. If you can keep the continuity within your staff, and because I don't think recruiting is going to slow down. We've seen it trimmed upwards, just like in basketball, man. If they keep winning, I don't think you're going to see a slowdown in recruiting whatsoever, Derek.
No, and, it's what's remarkable about all of this is is they did lose. They did have some turnover in this staff in this offseason here. And they have some new coaches, and it seems like they haven't really missed a beat there with any of that. The coordinator thing will be interesting because, but it seems like if you judge off of what happened this past offseason with Pittman's ability to get quality candidates in here to take this job, and let's not sell short the fact that Arkansas actually is finally spending money on football to actually pay assistant coaches a more than competitive salary, which that hasn't been the case in times not that far ago. So that is also something to keep in mind here. And we know how much Barry Odom's making, and of course Kendall Briles too. And it's so they're financially competitive in the marketplace, which gives you a chance to maybe keep somebody if it's on the fence on whether or not they stay or go.
Derek, you brought up a great statistic about KJ Jefferson and compared it to Connor Bazelak the game today. How about this stat that CBS put out? You haven't had a quarterback since Matt Jones where you've had over 2,000 passing yards and over 500 rushing yards, and KJ was able to accomplish that today. Had a couple big-time runs, and I know that he's losing Traylon this next year, but I think he's only going to get better because we've seen that too. And on top of this, KJ is one of only 4 quarterbacks in the country with 20 or more touchdowns, and I think he only has 3 interceptions on the season. He's got 1 at Auburn, he's got 1 at Texas. I don't remember if he had 1 in Georgia or not, but that just goes to show you that November, it's kind of like I mentioned earlier with late great Frank Broyles, they remember in November. Well, KJ, everyone has seen and is going to remember how this young man has competed down the stretch this season. We have a lot more to get to here on Hog Reaction alongside Derek Ruskin. I am Ty Richardson, and we are presented by Gameday Lodge tonight. You're welcome at any point to call or text in during the next hour at 877-377-6963. Whether it's ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Hit the TuneIn app and the ESPN Radio app. We are all over the place, and we are taking your calls and texts the next hour on Hog Reaction.
Hey, this is Ted with Ed Walker's Drive-In, Miss Anna's on Towson, and the Airedale Diner in Alma. I'm not saying that I'm older than dirt, but I've been around for a day or two, and I have to admit the last
Companies often kick off the new year with planning or goal-setting retreats, and the perfect place is Gameday Lodge. They still have availability during the weeks for November and December, and Gameday Lodge is decorated for Christmas, so guests can make great family memories. It's the ideal time to book spring golf trips to Branson before the dates fill up. Just search Gameday Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
You gave us the ability to stay afloat during some pretty trying times, and for that, we're very grateful. So on behalf of myself, my family, and our great staffs, we'd like to simply say thank you. And thank you for continuing to let me say Ed Walker's Drive-In, 1500 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, where the legend lives on.
For more than 80 years, Forsgren Inc. has been building the foundations of the River Valley and beyond. Forsgren, a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence, is now hiring experienced dump truck drivers. CDL Class A or B license with medical card is required. Apply now from any mobile device at forsgreninc.com. A heritage company and a premier employer. Forsgren offers top wages and benefits. Apply today at forsgreninc.com. Become part of the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device at forsgreninc.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese. He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe in a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Ask Shelter Agent Phil Hicks about a free insurance review.
This is a special announcement for residents of Ozone, Oark, Lake Ludwig, Harmony, Mount Vernon, areas north and west of Clarksville. Wave Rural Connect is coming to you. The Clarksville Zone is opening on December 9th, bringing big city internet to rural Johnson County. Fiber internet, TV, and phone provided by Arkansas Valley Electric, a local company serving local residents. Visit waveruralconnect.com for more. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from Wild World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional, Dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, Wild World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH for more details, or stop by our location at the corner of Phoenix and Rogers, or visit us online at shopwildnow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Messy leaks, stopped up toilets and sinks, all of these can be a nightmare. This is Emily with Mr. Rooter Plumbing in Fort Smith. Did you know that when you call Mr. Rooter, you get real-time tracking so you know exactly when to expect us? We know you're busy, so we send a reminder, so scheduling with us is convenient. When you need plumbing, call Mr. Rooter in Fort Smith or book online at mrrooter.com. We're your neighborly company.
Here we go. From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3.
Well, this town is a pigskin paradise.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith. This is Hog Reaction, presented by Gameday Lodge.
Jefferson in an empty set. Got trips to the left. He's going to throw. Fay toward the corner. Pass. They fight for it, and it is caught. Caught by Rocket Sanders for a touchdown.
The perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. Just search Gameday Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
I'm behind Lisa on the bridge, and I have jumped off. I am in the river.
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Another hour of Hog Reaction alongside Derek Ruskin. We are presented by Gameday Lodge. It got a little hairy in that game early when you had both KJ Jefferson and Traylon Burks go into the medical tent, but they came out refurbished and they were rip-roaring and ready to go. And once again, Traylon Burks dazzles. KJ also had a good game as well. Traylon goes over 100 yards today. And Derek, he's in elite special company alongside Anthony Lucas, Kobe Hamilton, and Jarius Wright as the only 4 individuals who have had a 1,000-yard season at the University of Arkansas.
Pretty remarkable stuff, and he hung around. And, you know, there were some talks when Pittman came in, some whispers that maybe he wanted to be a little closer to home and not be a part of this situation anymore. But a very important recruiting job, I would say, done by Sam Pittman to keep Traylon Burks at the University of Arkansas and not to go into the portal. And it has paid off for him, and maybe his last performance at Razorback Stadium was one of his finest, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see him in what we believe. And I know he was asked about the bowl game after. I want to make sure I get his wording right. You can check out those interviews at hitthatline.com or YouTube channel as well. Mace, you were listening to it. You probably have a better description of what he said than I did, because I don't want to butcher. What exactly did Traylon Burks say when he was asked about the bowl game earlier?
Well, basically, he was asked by Bob Holt, like, you have all these records that you could possibly break if you play in the bowl game. And Treylon said, well, I'm not really worried about the stats. I'm not worried about the records. I'm just worried about going out and playing in the bowl game and winning the bowl game. So, I mean, that's kind of what he's going to say, of course, but he didn't say he's not going to play in the bowl game. So I think that that decision is probably going to come later, something he's got to talk about with Coach Pittman and his family and stuff like that. But yeah. It would be awesome if you could play in the bowl game.
Yeah. I remember, Derek, you probably remember this, in 2015 after Arkansas lost to that North Carolina squad, and Bobby Portis was asked, I don't know if Bob asked him the question or who did, about coming back, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said, I'm coming back. Now, he made the decision either days or weeks later that it was a better move for his professional career to move on, and seeing what he's doing with the Milwaukee Bucks right now, I'd say he made the right decision. But in spur-of-the-moment situations, the adrenaline's kicked in, you're really hyped up, and I wouldn't be 100% shocked if Treylon elected not to play in this bowl game, but the way he's gutted out games this season and just refuses to come off the field, I gotta be honest, man, I wouldn't be surprised if he suited up for this bowl game either.
Yeah, we don't know how hurt he really is. And if it is something that is, if there's a large risk here, I think the answer is not play, get healthy for the combine, and get ready for the next part, because there is so much at stake here. When you're talking about a first-round pick in the NFL draft, that's generational money. We're not talking about, barely being able to make a roster in the 53-man. Going in as a free agent, making a few bucks in training camp. This is a big, big situation here, and I honestly think this is something that's changed, Ty, since I've been doing this, because I think many years ago people would have totally resented and been upset if he didn't play in the bowl game. But now I think 9 out of 10 Razorback fans would totally understand if he didn't play, and they would wish him nothing but the best at the next level. That's another December storyline to follow. We've been talking about these with the coaching staff and keeping them together, and now Treylon Burks with a decision to make on if he's going to play or not in the bowl game.
So, Derek, rank the 3, 1 to 3. You've got the couple you just talked about, the bowl game, Treylon Burks' presence potentially being there or not there in the bowl game, and then where they were actually going to end up playing a bowl. What would you say? Because, again, we're going to have not necessarily downtime, but we won't have a football game ahead of us for a couple of weeks. So how would you rank those in order of a precedent, what you think is probably the most important, what fans want to know the most?
The most, to me, the most important thing is the coaching staff and what happens there. Burks is a major story as well, because it not just impacts your bowl game, but it also, that impacts your program as well. I mean, how we've seen the basketball team capitalize big time off of Moses Moody being taken in the NBA draft and going to a matinee franchise like the Golden State Warriors. So, Treylon Burks, if he's in the late first round, he's going to go to probably a playoff team, and maybe a good one. So that's going to be something else that'll help with recruiting. And then the selection of the bowl game is kind of, that's interesting, but that's not really a big to me, that's not really a big story because we know they're going somewhere, and we know it's probably going to be somewhere pretty good. They're not going to Birmingham, or I don't even know if the SEC's tied to Shreveport anymore, but that was considered the bottom, Birmingham and Shreveport, and they may go to Florida. So that's that would be significant.
We've talked a lot about Treylon Burks to this point. I want to give credit to a certain senior today who I thought played his guts out. That would be Hayden Henry. Had some big-time hits, 10 total tackles, 7 of them being solo. Had 2 quarterback hits, including a bone-crushing hit on Connor Bazelak, a tackle for loss. Just was all over the field today. And I know for him, Myron Cunningham, Grant Morgan, and super seniors that elected, it's best for us to come back and continue to contribute to Sam Pittman's team. Derek, there's not a single one of them that regret coming back to the University of Arkansas.
No, and on the different schedule posters you see around, it says restoring belief. That's been kind of the marketing slogan for Razorback football. Has there ever been a marketing slogan that has delivered so accurately for the Razorbacks than restoring belief, because you've got a state with a few million people that are believing again in Razorback football and believing what Sam Pittman has done and built, and those guys coming back are a massive part of it. Getting them to come back and turning the negative of COVID and everything being all wonky last year with no spring practice for the first spring session. Sam Pittman was the head coach. To turn that around and turn it into an 8-win season with a possibility of 9, it's a tremendous credit to everybody involved over there.
877-377-6963. This is Hog Reaction presented by Gameday Lodge. Derek, wild play that was between Beatty and Miles Slusher on the Missouri sidelines. And I was thinking that the refs were going to flag Slusher because that's what they often do on opposing sidelines when a defensive player is kind of wrestling and tussling out of bounds. But he grabbed Slusher's face mask and held on to it all the way into the bench. And it was, I thought, a point in the game where the tempers were going to flare and there was going to be more chippiness and maybe a guy or two was going to get tossed out. But it really, you were watching the game. It really didn't escalate it any beyond that like I thought it was kind of going to.
No, and I didn't know if they were going to see what we saw because they don't have replay. And whenever stuff happens on the bench, it's real, especially deep in the bench area, it's difficult for the officials to see. I think, honestly, Arkansas punched a guy on the bench a few games ago, and nobody saw it because it was deep in the bench area. So it was a play-on situation. So I didn't know if they would see it because we had the perfect look at home on replay from that opposite angle to see that, indeed, Slusher was grabbed and yanked out of bounds by the face mask. But they got together, and it took a little bit of time, but they did get it right. That was the right call on Beatty there on the face mask.
Miles ended his day with third leading in tackles. I thought he had a really solid day. Another guy that stood out, and it stood out not just this game, but a couple games, is Monterrey Brown. He's Arkansas's best cover corner. It's not close. Has a chance to be an all-SEC guy. I think he's got 5 interceptions on the year, and a couple of them have been jump balls that he's just gone up and got. I know that they got burned this last week, and Jamison Williams and John Mechie. There's not many duos outside of Columbus, Ohio, that have those type of caliber at wide receivers in college football. But for the most part, Monterrey has been a pretty solid cover corner for this team, and I know that Barry Odom and Sam Carter are happy to match him up against the team's best wide receivers, which, as we kind of brought up earlier, Missouri doesn't really have a premier pass catcher that Arkansas needed to worry about today.
No, they handled them as almost as good as you can. And the thing about last week with Bama is just it wasn't that Arkansas was just getting smoked all over the place. I mean, there were some deep passes where the defender's right there, and Bryce Young has the ability to put it in the perfect spot where it can't be defended. So there's nothing. I mean, that's not a case of just the secondary getting embarrassed on every single play. Some of that's just a terrific quarterback play. I know it's taboo for college football fans to give the opponent credit very often, but I mean that's what it was last week with Alabama in some of those cases with Bryce Young, who may very well, by the way, the quarterback that lit you up may very well win the Heisman Trophy in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So I mean, he did that to a lot of teams this year.
If you're a Heisman voter, Derek, and we'll close down with this. And again, you're welcome to jump in here. You can also comment via Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. If you're looking at C.J. Stroud at Ohio State, if you're looking at Bryce Young in Alabama, if you're looking at Will Anderson in Alabama, if you're looking at Jordan Davis at Georgia, is there a guy in particular that you think has stood out amongst the rest that deserves to walk away with the Heisman Trophy in New York coming up in December?
Well, I think there's so much left to be determined. I mean, if there's a big game tomorrow and Ohio State rolls Michigan, then that's going to give him the advantage at Ohio State. If Young rolls up against Auburn, or more importantly, if he has a giant game against Georgia in the SEC title game, it probably goes to Bryce Young. So I think there's still a lot of information that I would need as a voter, and they're never going to give me a vote, by the way, but if I had one, I would have to wait and see until these a couple games play out here because, I mean, Michigan's been good defensively, so to light them up would be impressive. And obviously we know about Georgia's defense. So if Bryce Young can have a big game against them in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, then that may push him over the finish line as the Heisman winner.
When we come back, I want to talk a little more about Treylon Burks and another statistic that only he and Anthony Lucas are a part of. Stay with us on Hog Reaction presented by Gameday Lodge.
You're listening to Hog Reaction presented by Gameday Lodge.
It's No Shave November, benefiting the Arkansas Prostate Cancer Foundation. Show support for prostate cancer survivors and help raise money to support the mission of the Arkansas Prostate Cancer Foundation. Donate online at arprostatecancer.org. All money raised supports Arkansas Prostate Cancer Foundation's free awareness and educational programs, free prostate cancer screenings, and free patient assistance programs. And every dollar raised stays in Arkansas. Prostate cancer screenings can save your life. Donate today at arprostatecancer.org.
The Gameday Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Gameday Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
Looking for a career in trucking? JR's Trucking Company, a family-owned and operated company, has prided itself on being a safe, reliable, and dedicated carrier. Headquartered in Van Buren, Arkansas since 2002, JR's Trucking Company specializes in transporting poultry and produce across the United States. They offer competitive pay and benefits, weekly home time, plus an $8,000 sign-on bonus. Get on the road to success. Contact JR's Trucking Company today at 1-800-428-4033. JR's Trucking Company, a professional team you can count on.
Make a Wake Bait and Tackle on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma has everything a fisherman needs. Rods, reels, tackle, plastics, all kinds of great baits to catch a wall hanger. Rods starting at $69.95. The biggest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reaction Innovation, Bobby Garland, Lake Fork-Hugon, and more. And Make a Wake has Daiwa rods and reels, and they repair them too. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
I have so many things that need to be done around the house, like fixing the gate on my fence, painting the front door, and that's just a start. I'm not the best DIY person or even have enough time if I were.
Call the experienced crew at Top Notch Roofing and Construction.
Well, isn't that...
I know what you're going to say, but Top Notch does it all. They service both commercial and residential clients with roofing, siding, windows, gutters, fencing, and remodeling, but they also have a crew that specializes in those honeydew jobs piling up at home.
Thanks, man. I'm calling Top Notch Roofing today.
Top Notch. Everything from roofing to honeydews. Call them today.
Frank Row Furniture's November Super Black Friday Plus sale. We are running a sale that will save you hundreds of dollars. On top of that, we are having our Super Black Friday Plus sale all month long. Here's where the plus comes in. After saving hundreds of dollars on already marked down prices, get another 10% off on top of that. Frank Row Furniture's November Super Black Friday Plus sale. Frank Row Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Don't brush off the dentist. They have fillings too. River Valley Smile Center can provide you and your family with comprehensive dental services in a friendly and welcoming setting. From cosmetic dentistry to orthodontics, implants to sedation, we have everything you need for bright and healthy teeth. To schedule an appointment, visit rivervalleysmiles.com or give us a call at 479-646-0706. That's 479-646-0706.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start. Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude. Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
Ask Randy Milam in Alma or Brad Howe in Van Buren about Shelter's home insurance.
Messy leaks, stopped up toilets and sinks, all of these can be a nightmare. This is Emily with Mr. Rooter Plumbing in Fort Smith. Did you know that when you call Mr. Rooter, you get real-time tracking so you know exactly when to expect us? We know you're busy, so we send a reminder, so scheduling with us is convenient. When you need plumbing, call Mr. Rooter in Fort Smith or book online at mrrooter.com. We're your neighborly company.
Diesel Service Company at 319 Wheeler in Fort Smith is the place you need to go for all your diesel farm and industrial fuel system needs. Plus, they can service your diesel Power Stroke injectors and take care of your Dodge pickup pump as well. They also have turbocharger sales and repairs for just about every need you may have. In fact, chances are if you have diesel equipment, Diesel Services can handle any problem you have. That's Diesel Service, 319 Wheeler in Fort Smith. See their ad in the yellow pages under Fuel Injection Repair.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Gameday Lodge.
Jefferson going to throw a fade to Burks, caught it midfield. Trailing inside the Bama 40. He's got a chance to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
So the stat I was referring to is we're back here on Hog Reaction, presented by Gameday Lodge. Traylon Burks, Derek, had his 10th 100-yard game, and there's only one other guy to do that and have more games than Traylon, and that is Anthony Lucas. Now, we talked about the elite category that Traylon's in earlier with Jarius Wright and Kobe Hamilton and Anthony having over 1,000 yards in a single season here at Arkansas, but that is just another statistic that makes him stand out. And Clay Henry has come on the Morning Rush and on Arkansas Game Day and talked about just how talented of a receiver he is and maybe the best ever. In your mind, where does Traylon kind of rank? I know he had a bad year. It's not his fault. He had, Tommy likes to call it coaching malpractice with Joe Craddock, and which it's just fantastic with Joe Craddock and Chad Morris. But where does this guy rank in wide receivers to play at this university, man?
I mean, isn't it kind of remarkable that, to really have a year that wasn't really a year, considering how bad they were his freshman year, to come back and to be in the conversation with these names is pretty remarkable. I think Jarius Wright's the best receiver I've seen here, and I haven't done this as long as some, but I've done it longer than others. But just the route running, the production,
his
the numbers.
IQ is off the charts.
Yes,
Jarius.
Yes, absolutely, and this doesn't factor into this discussion, but he had, I think, one of the best pro careers hanging around the league for a while from that wide receiver group with Bobby Petrino in the around the 2010 or 2011 time, around the last time that they won this many ball games in a season. So I go with Jarius Wright there, but that is but Traylon Burks will be remembered as part of this group as they turn this thing around, and he staying home and being in this state and sticking it out through all of the crap that went on around here. I mean, they'll remember him forever. He can do no wrong in the state of Arkansas.
Got a comment from Nima on YouTube, and you're welcome to comment via Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Also, call or text us at 877-377-6963. That saying it's DK Metcalf with better hands, referring to Traylon Burks. He's got that DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown, Ole Miss type of mold where he's strong physical, but he's also a speedster. And I think back to the Alabama game where he caught that back shoulder throw and then outraced 5 Alabama players to the end zone. Traylon really does, when you watch this guy play, he doesn't look like he's going that fast. It kind of similar to Matt Jones, Derek, but then you realize how long his strides are and then just how physical he is. He rarely gets taken down by the first defender, and that's what makes him so electric on a football field.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great comparison there, because you're right. I don't think, and maybe that's part of it. I'm frustrated at times with the way that football is consumed in Arkansas, because this guy's an all-time great, and I don't think people appreciate him and won't for some time now. He's phenomenal, and he's and he's from this state. He stayed here, and all the things we've said before. But people want to gripe about announcers and refs instead of talking about how the greatness that it has been Traylon Burks' career. Possibly one more game, we'll see, going into the bowl game. But yeah, he's a talent, and it's going to be fascinating to see what happens with his pro career moving forward.
Derek, the thing about Traylon is, as you just said, had an opportunity to go to the University of Alabama, LSU, all these different places want him. He was, I believe, the 97th best player in the country in his recruiting class, the highest rated player that Arkansas got, and he wanted to stay here. He's a very a low-key guy off the field, likes to hunt, likes to fish, and just an Arkansas guy. And I know that there's a lot of Arkansas fans that would be more than happy to allow Traylon hunt on their land if they have some good, or they go to their duck lodge or whatever the case may be. But he's just very low-key, and that's why I think a lot of people have enjoyed him both on and off the field. Back to the phone lines, 877-377-6963. Let's go up to Northwest Arkansas and welcome Cody, who's in Benville. Cody, you're on Hog Reaction, presented by Gameday Lodge.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. Hey, I heard Ruskin saying something earlier that I kind of remember. I think, Ruskin, were you kind of alluding to after, I think, Morris and that whole coaching staff got blown out by LSU? I remember at the end of that game, Orgeron coming up to Burt's kind of away from everybody and talking to him. And I'm wondering if maybe there was something going on there. And then as far as like that receiver debate you were talking about, do y'all remember how good Childs was, though, before his injuries? I mean, he was a freak. He was an absolute freak. And then the last thing I wanted to say was this. Looking ahead to next year, which is easy to do, I'm really excited. What a win. Good job, Pittman. Catalan's been out the last few games. That's the other thing, man. Think about that Bama game with Catalan playing. But next year, we're set up pretty strong all the way around. We lose some of our linebackers, but I think Bump comes back, Bumper Pool. I mean, the only thing, you saw what happened in Missouri today, and that's what scares me, the receiving depth. And I know I've kind of alluded to this all year, when I've called in with y'all, but I'm serious. We may have to pick up a transfer from the portal as far as receiver goes or somebody, because you saw what happened in Missouri today. If they didn't have receivers that could get open, and they've got a hellaciously good running back. We've got 3 great running backs. If we can't spread the field out and move the ball, that's the only thing that worries me about next year. But that's a long way from now, and I'm proud of what the Razorbacks did. But you'll have a good evening. Thanks for taking my call, gentlemen.
Absolutely, Cody. We appreciate it. Now, I look at it, Derek, this roster next season at the wide receiver group, it's opportunity galore. The bell cow's gone. Traylon is not going to be back on campus this year. And whether it's Rocket Sanders getting more touches out there, and we saw him make just an incredible catch in the Alabama game. I bet Kendall tries to get him more involved in the passing game this next season. Whether it's a true freshman, who I know you watched a little bit, in Isaiah Satania, who apparently had an incredible catch in the Fayetteville-Conway game tonight. And Keetron Jackson, who made a play or two tonight, the young freshman right now who will be a sophomore from Royce City, Texas. Warren Thompson, who came over as a walk-on, a 4-star kid that has proved. I know he's had some drops this season, but they have guys. I don't know if they're going to have a Traylon Burks next year, because this is a once-in-a-generation type of player. But I'm not I'm not just worlds above this is going to be a terrible wide receiver core next year, because I think Kenny Guyton has proved that he can improve these guys and progress moving forward.
So it's different next year, because now Missouri couldn't do it today, but say you're playing an opponent that can take Burks away. Well, then the pressure's on the other side to get the job done. Well, when you are – what they could be looking at next year is – you don't know who's going to have the hot hand week to week. So you may bracket on the guy on the left, the guy on the right side has the big game, and vice versa. So there's a little more options there to have, because there may not be defenses may not key on the same guy every single week. The other thing that really makes this offense go is the way that KJ runs the football, and that makes everything open up. When that happens. So it is, there's still all of that there, but an important part of this is terminology, language, system, keeping it the same, and keeping Kendall Briles, or finding someone if he leaves that can kind of do all this the same way. that's going to be crucial for the growth and development.
Let's go up to Mountain View and welcome in Chris. Chris, you're on Hog Reaction, presented by Gameday Lodge.
Hey, what up, guys?
What's going on?
Oh, not much. Hey, I'm proud of the Hogs. They did an amazing year, and I'm just happy to be able to dove in back into Razorback football. You guys party on and have a good one.
I think I deserve that. I don't know how I thought Dovin was a word, but as Clay and Tommy like to make fun of my phonics and my pronunciations and different things, I still have a long way to go. But no, it is good to be back and immersed back within Razorback football. And I'll tell you what, I guess I started my sophomore year of college. They went 7-6. Yeah, that was the Texas Bowl year. And the next year they went 8-5. This team has a chance to get 9 wins, and that's something Brett Bielema couldn't do. It's certainly something Chad Morris couldn't do. John L. Smith couldn't do it. For the first time, you could get 9 wins since 2011. I know you end that season 11-2, but it is crazy to see how much of a bottom dweller you were, Derek, and to where you could be potentially by the end of this bowl game.
This sport, usually the fall is quick. I mean, we've seen it a little bit with Clemson this year, where they've gone from the gold standard to now just another program in the sport. The fall is quickly. Usually the ascent is not this quick, where in year 2 you're looking at 9 wins. Certainly not in the SEC and not in the SEC West. But, when you have a roster as, as deep and as talented as this one, these things are possible when that happens, and they got the rules in place with bringing people back in the free year, and they took advantage of it, and they are definitely enjoying the benefits of that with an 8-win and maybe a 9-win season.
We still have a lot of calls that we have to get to. Fully loaded up call board. If you want to jump in here, you can. It's 877-377-6963. Again, this is Hog Reaction presented by Gameday Lodge. And if you haven't checked out Jason and Sarah's place in Branson, Missouri, you are missing out. You can type it on Google, check it out on Airbnb, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or VRBO. It is a perfect time to get that golfing trip in the spring ready. Hey, maybe you want a family trip in December, or you're a GM, or you're a manager, or an owner, and you're trying to just get planning a goal-setting retreats. The Gameday Lodge is the place to do it. 10 bedrooms, 19 beds, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, so many things you can do. It's got a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, a sauna open year-round. There's fire pits, 2 gas grills, 2 kitchens. I'm telling you, Tommy, myself, Phil, we got a chance to stay here. There is nothing like the Gameday Lodge in Branson, Missouri. Again, you can find it on Instagram, Twitter, Airbnb, VRBO, and Facebook. That's the Gameday Lodge. When we come back, I'm really excited to welcome in Forest City Joe and all of the other callers that have phoned in, because I know Forest City Joe's hyped up, as you should be hyped up, as you get a 34-17 victory over Missouri this afternoon.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Gameday Lodge.
For corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities, companies often kick off the new year with planning or goal-setting retreats, and the perfect place is Gameday Lodge. They still have availability during the weeks for November and December, and Gameday Lodge is decorated for Christmas, so guests can make great family memories. It's the ideal time to book spring golf trips to Branson before the dates fill up. Just search Gameday Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
Ashley Air is proud to be an official sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Our service to the River Valley began in 1958, the same year that the legendary Frank Broyles took over as football coach. The Hogs have had some great coaches, but we've never had so many on campus all at once. Sam Pittman, Eric Musselman, Dave Van Horn, and Mike Neighbors, just to name a few. What an incredible team. We put together quite a team at Ashley Air, too. On game day, call the Hogs. When your AC breaks, call Ashley Air.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Looking for a fence company that will provide the personal touch to your fence or gating project? Call Dusty's Fence Company at 479-629-4190. Dusty's Fence Company specializes in custom wood design, vinyl fencing, chain link and ornamental iron projects, and they can even stain your fence to complete your project. Family owned and in business for 20 years, you will deal with the same person from start to finish. That's Dusty's Fence Company, 479-629-4190.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Ask Shelter agents Tiffany Newman or Warren Robertson about renter's insurance.
For more than 80 years, Forsgren Inc. has been building the foundations of the River Valley and beyond. Forsgren, a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence, is now hiring experienced concrete finishers and heavy equipment operators. Apply now from any mobile device at forsgreninc.com. Forsgren is a heritage company and a premier employer. Don't miss this opportunity to become part of the Forsgren legacy. Apply now from any device anywhere at forsgreninc.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
This is a special announcement for residents of Ozone, Oark, Lake Ludwig, Harmony, Mount Vernon, areas north and west of Clarksville. Wave Rural Connect is coming to you. The Clarksville Zone is opening on December 9th, bringing big city internet to rural Johnson County. Fiber internet, TV, and phone provided by Arkansas Valley Electric, a local company serving local residents. Visit waveruralconnect.com for more. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Diesel Service Company at 319 Wheeler in Fort Smith is the place you need to go for all your diesel farm and industrial fuel system needs. Plus, they can service your diesel power stroke injectors and take care of your Dodge pickup pump as well. They also have turbocharger sales and repairs for just about every need you may have. In fact, chances are if you have diesel equipment, Diesel Services can handle any problem you have. That's Diesel Service, 319 Wheeler in Fort Smith. See their ad in the yellow pages under Fuel Injection Repair.
Whole Hog Cafe on Phoenix Avenue is now open 11 till 8 Monday through Saturday. Whole Hog Cafe has party packs for your watch party, tailgate party, business meetings, or lunch and dinner for the family. You will see a few new items on the menu to go along with the award-winning barbecue and sides. Whole Hog Cafe, Phoenix Avenue, offers online ordering at wholehogfortsmith.com, along with curbside and delivery service. Or come see us 11 till 8 Monday through Saturday. Follow Whole Hog Cafe on Facebook and Instagram for specials.
Greenwood Collision has been a part of Greenwood since the opening in 2007. Now they invite you into their new state-of-the-art facility. They offer customers a lifetime warranty and work diligently with all insurance companies to better serve their customers. Greenwood Collision has a color matching system, guaranteed an exact color match each and every time. Stop the worrying. Call Chris or Joe today at 996-9922. Greenwood Collision, 2615 West Center in Greenwood.
ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Gameday Lodge.
Jefferson going to throw a fade to Burks, caught at midfield. Trailing inside the Bama 40. He's got a chance to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Gonna go right to the phone lines and welcome this guy in, Forest City Joe. I know you're excited about that 34-17 Razorback victory this afternoon, my man.
Yes, I am, Ty, and I got to tell you, I don't think people realize the significance of this season. This program was dead. Jeff Long, Julie Peoples, and Chad Morris, along with John L. Smith and the rest of them, since Petrino was fired, damn near killed this program. Brent Bielema stabilized it a little bit and then went downhill. But when Sam Pittman took over, I got to tell you, We may have been the worst Power 5 team in the country. That's how bad we were. Getting blown out at home by North Texas and the Western Kentuckys of the world. What Sam Pittman has done here in 2 years, I'm going to say it straight out, is nothing short of a miracle in my book. A miracle. I never saw it coming back this fast. It's just unbelievable. And I think one of the main reasons it's coming back this fast is, I'm going to say it, we don't have a good quarterback anymore. We got a great quarterback. When Arkansas has been good, when he had your Ryan Mallett and your Tyler Wilson, these type people, while you won 11 and 10 games in the season,
yep.
Arkansas has to have not a good. Quinn Grover's another example. He has to have a great quarterback. And we got one. K.J. Jefferson, that throw he made, moving to his left, down the sideline to Keetron Jackson, that strike right into the bucket. That's an NFL throw. This guy is talented, and he's been well developed, and we have a great quarterback. If people can talk about what we're losing next year, I'll worry about that when he get here. But with this guy coming back, we've got a chance. Dave Ruskin, this program went through an absolute gauntlet. To start this season, they was rated with the toughest schedule in the country, going to Alabama, to LSU. I mean, it's to Georgia. Nobody else in the country went through this gauntlet and could come out of it. Well, you could say Georgia and Alabama could do it, but think about how many teams could actually go through this gauntlet, come out 8-4, and right there, that Ole Miss game, we lost 52-51 to a top 10 team in Oxford.
Yep.
This is unbelievable what Sam Pittman has done with this program in 2 years. I've never seen anything like it.
It's unreal, and it's almost. And Forest City Joe, we really appreciate your call. Derek and I were touching on over how where they, as you said, were dead in the water, and to how they progress to this point. I'm going to try and get to as many of these calls as we can. Hacker and Harrison, you're up next, and you're on Hog Reaction. Try and keep it, if you can, until about a minute and a half, buddy.
Yeah, I'll keep it close. I hate following a first ballot Hall of Famer caller. Like
that's tough. He's the top 5 ever in the state of Arkansas, no question.
I'll tell you what. I only have 2 comments and a question. First comment: we came through the Bobby Hopper tunnel right after the accident happened. I wanted to extend my, I hate y'all had that crash like that. It was really bad, but anyway, we just came through there, and it was a really bad deal. Other thing I wanted to say, today, I've never seen a crowd on a Friday for a game like that. I mean, that was a ridiculous crowd. Everybody showed up. I mean, we were there. I mean, that was a fantastic crowd. So a Friday after Thanksgiving, that was awesome. But here's my question. I'm a season ticket holder. We got a email this week, and I don't know if they were tipping their hand or what, but basically we had to reply before December 3rd if we want to go to Jacksonville or Tampa. So is that the 2 destinations that we're going to be faced with, or is that just something they're like, they're guessing? That was my question.
Hacker, I appreciate the call. So I saw that screenshot that you're referring to because it got passed around, as things often do. Derek, you can help me on this. Is that something that Hunter Yurchek is getting from the SEC commissioner? Hey, you guys have potential to be a player either here or there. Where do you think your fans would travel to more likely the destination? Any idea on kind of the backstory of that email that was sent out?
I mean, it could be kind of a trial balloon to kind of judge how the sales would go in one place or the other, because you got to remember that it's been a long time since the Razorback fan base has traveled to Florida for a bowl game. 2007, the last time, New Year's Day. Take it in the Capital One Bowl in Orlando. So maybe kind of judging how that would go. We know they'll fill up Memphis. We know they'd fill up Houston. We know that would happen with what we've seen in the past. But maybe they were just trying to gauge what would happen there. Maybe their deadlines are different with those 2 bowls than the other. I'm not really sure. It is kind of interesting that those were the only 2 on that email, though, that they were asking about. So maybe it is Would be funny if it was one of those two.
Yeah.
And they kind of tipped their hand on that deal, like Hacker said.
I would think that Arkansas fans would be much apt to more travel to Houston for the Texas Bowl, to Memphis for the Liberty Bowl, and for the Music City Bowl, Nashville. And I know those don't have the same cachet, if you will, as some of those Florida Bowls. But what would you rather have, a better crowd and a better chance to win, or just to say, hey, we got a chance to play in this bowl? I would think the first on that note. All right, last call in this segment before we go to break. LP is in Knoxville. LP, you're on Hog Reaction. Go ahead, man.
Hey, what's up, Ty? Good to hear from you, man. Just got a couple thoughts. I went to the game tonight. Man, what a season overall. And then how about Traylon Burks? The guy from Arkansas, just giving it to us this season, just so good. Here's my question for you. I'd like to hear your comment. Is Eli Drinkwitz a Chad Morris 2.0? I mean, between his stupid comments last week at his press conference and everything he said at SEC Media Days and then barely scoring a touchdown on Arkansas, is he Chad Morris 2.0?
That's a good question. LP, appreciate the call. Go ahead, Derek.
He's not, because he's won more league games than Chad Morris. So no, he's not. He may not be. The next Gary Pinkel up there, but he's not. He's not the next Chad Morris. I like having Eli up there because it adds. This game is always going to mean a lot to him. He's always going to do things to stir people up down here, and I like that. So I don't have any issue with any of his comments because what's the point if we don't have good guys and bad guys? Someone's got to wear the black hat, someone's got to wear the white hat, and so I mean I don't have any problem with it at all. I love what he said all week to kind of goose this thing up. Yeah. Exactly. You need that. If you ever want this to be a real rivalry, you need people saying stuff. You need Eric Beisel saying what he said 5 years ago and pissing people off, because otherwise it's a tea party. You got to have words, bulletin board material for it to become a real rivalry.
And I'll say this, I don't think Sam Pittman is going to be the one to do that, which is fine. You like how non-egotistical and how down-to-earth Coach Pittman is. I just don't anticipate that he's going to be putting up bulletin board material. He said this week, he goes, Derek, I don't know if you heard this, he goes, we want this final trophy. And then he looked at all the media, it's like, that's not bulletin board material, I don't think. But it's like, of course not, it's not, Coach. It'd be one thing if you said that, but what Derek's referring to is what Drinkwitz said at SEC Media Days is like, I kind of like our rivalry with Arkansas because we hadn't lost it in a while. I think it's been since 2015. He said it in his cocky, and he looks like Andy Bernard, which is also really entertaining. I mean, he does.
Nard Dog.
Yeah, Nard Dog. So I hope someone calls him that at SEC Media Days. I would love to. Maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to spark the fire within that, but we'll see. All right, we got still one more segment to get to on Hog Reaction, presented by Gameday Lodge. This is your last chance tonight to give your thoughts across 5 ESPN Arkansas radio stations. HitThatLine.com, the #1 podcast network in all of Arkansas, and you can do it next on Hog Reaction.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Gameday Lodge.
Touchdown! Whoa! Football!
Did you know about 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime? Unfortunately, all treatment options can have side effects, like erectile dysfunction, urinary leakage, and bowel complications. However, Space-Or Hydrogel can help minimize your risk of side effects when used with radiation therapy. To learn more about the risks and benefits of Space-Or, visit spaceoar.com. That's spaceoar.com. spaceoar.com. Sponsored by Boston Scientific.
It's No Shave November, benefiting the Arkansas Prostate Cancer Foundation. Show support for prostate cancer survivors and help raise money to support the mission of the Arkansas Prostate Cancer Foundation. Donate online at arprostatecancer.org. All money raised supports Arkansas Prostate Cancer Foundation's free awareness and educational programs, free prostate cancer screenings, and free patient assistance programs. And every dollar raised stays in Arkansas. Prostate cancer screenings can save your life. Donate today at arprostatecancer.org.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Need a reason to smile? River Valley Smile Center can give you one. We are a comprehensive dental practice located in the heart of Fort Smith. From cosmetic dentistry to orthodontics, implants to sedation, we have everything you need for a brighter, healthier smile. Find out why we've been voted the River Valley's best of the best winner 4 years in a row by giving us a call at 479-646-0706. That's 479-646-0706.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Tiffany Newman in Mulberry or Warren Robertson in Alma about Shelter's home insurance.
Whole Hog Cafe on Phoenix Avenue is now open 11 till 8 Monday through Saturday. Whole Hog Cafe has party packs for your watch party, tailgate party, business meetings, or lunch and dinner for the family. You will see a few new items on the menu to go along with the award-winning barbecue and sides. Whole Hog Cafe, Phoenix Avenue, offers online ordering at wholehogfortsmith.com, along with curbside and delivery service. Or come see us 11 till 8 Monday through Saturday. Follow Whole Hog Cafe on Facebook and Instagram for specials.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
It's not often an insurance provider thanks its customers for their loyalty, but at Farmers Insurance, they do just that with declining deductibles. Every year you're a Farmers customer, you can get $50 towards your home deductible. It's one of the discounts, benefits, and added coverages you could get with Farmers Policy Perks. Call Deanna Parks at 479-452-6491 to learn more and get a quote.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state, only available with select Farmers branded policies, subject to terms and conditions, underwritten by Farmers, Truck, or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Greenwood Collision has been a part of Greenwood since the opening in 2007. Now they invite you into their new state-of-the-art facility. They offer customers a lifetime warranty and work diligently with all insurance companies to better serve their customers. Greenwood Collision has a color matching system, guaranteed an exact color match each and every time. Stop the worrying. Call Chris or Joe today at 996-9922. Greenwood Collision, 2615 West Center in Greenwood.
Reduce your home energy bills while increasing your comfort. AOG and OG&E are offering a weatherization program that provides free home energy efficiency upgrades to current customers in Arkansas and Oklahoma. If your home is at least 10 years old, it may qualify for these upgrades, which include attic insulation, caulking, air sealing, weather stripping, and LED lighting. To find out how you can benefit from these free home weatherization improvements, contact 844-413-3065 or visit AOGC.com.
ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Gameday Lodge.
Jefferson going to throw a fade to Burks, caught at midfield. Trailing inside the Bama 40. He's got a chance to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
All right, last segment here on Hog Reaction. Do want to update you on the Arkansas soccer program. Unfortunately, Colby Hale squad falls in PKs to Rutgers out there in New Jersey. Derek, have you ever been? I've been in New York. I've never been to New Jersey. You ever been out there to New Jersey?
Only at the airport. That's it.
Okay. I have a place for you as I'm getting a little hungry. I haven't eaten since 2, and now my stomach is starting to growl. There is a place, a food truck, that is right up your alley. It's called Are You Hungry? And I don't remember if Guy Fieri did a Diners, Dive-Ins, and Drives. I watched some Food Network thing on it, but they have some of the crazy fat sandwich shouts. These things are filled with mozzarella sticks, chicken fingers, French fries, steak, all these crazy college drunchy type of sandwiches that if you ever go back to New Jersey, you need to go try Are You Hungry? It comes highly recommended from a friend of mine that went to Rutgers.
Okay. I'll have to remember that if I ever go up there to cover a game or something.
I don't know. I don't know when we'd be traveling up to Rutgers and seeing Missouri, but who knows? Maybe Arkansas. I said Missouri, get Rutgers, but who knows? Maybe we'll get them back on the schedule. All right, so Derek, as we're closing out here, just kind of your final takeaways of this game and just kind of this regular season as a whole, as Arkansas sits 8-4 with a 34-17 victory today.
Really good season. A unexpected season. Most people did not expect. I love everything Forest City Joe said. I mean, what we are witnessing here is a miracle. That this program was, and he's right, the worst Power 5 program in college football, and then just walk through the sequence of events. The athletic director, who's got some pressure on him, let's be honest, rolls a dice with a guy who's never been a head coach before at an SEC school. And many in the press, like Stuart Mandel, said, it's not going to work. Good luck with all that. Look at what you're up against in the league. 3 league wins in the first year with COVID and handling all that stuff. Falling apart down the stretch. Some of COVID is an issue with some of that. Then they come back next year, knock off 2 Texas schools, beat Texas A&M for the first time since A&M's joined the SEC. You're right there with Ole Miss. You're right there with Alabama, and then you beat Missouri and you win. You beat LSU as well, and now you're looking at 9 wins, possibly with a bowl win and a Florida bowl trip, which this program hasn't had only 5 times since the 1978 Orange Bowl, that famous Razorback victory with Lou Holtz's team. So it's such an amazing story. Too many times people get bogged down complaining about refs or announcers, or frankly, me and Zach, and they're losing the sight on what has really happened here, which is a total resurrection of this football program by Sam Pittman, Barry Odom, Kendall Briles, and Hunter Yurachek, giving them the resources to make all this happen.
And I'll say this about Hunter Yurachek. I don't know if there's a fan that's happier than him, because let's make no mistake about it. Hunter Yurachek is not just an employee of the University of Arkansas in the state. He is a fan of this program and what Sam Pittman has done. And like you just said and laid out for us, he took a chance on a guy that, while he had a plethora of SEC background and success, it was not at the coordinator position. It was an offensive line coach. And I know Coach has been a head coach before, but to make this jump in a year just that tormented so many both on and off the field, and for them to still get 3 wins in the Southeastern Conference last year, got close on some others, and then to get 8 wins this season, they'll finish 4-4. It's awesome, and it is good to get out of the depths that you found yourself within the Grand Canyon, the abyss, whatever you want to call it. They were there for quite some time. Derek, I don't know if you saw this pick. It's hysterical. You've got the Golden Boot, you've got the Southwest Classic, you've got the battle line, and then you've got Larry the bowling ball just sitting right next to it. One of these is not like the other, but it's a little comedic relief. I'll give credit. The Arkansas social media account has had some fun, not just today, but following the Texas A&M win, the Texas win. It's just been a good year for Razorback sports as a whole, my man.
Yeah, it has, and it continues with what we've seen with basketball, men's and women's. We mentioned the soccer loss, but they just go to the Elite Eight for the first time in program history. So Hunter Yurachek has this athletic program working in a way maybe we've never seen before.
We're going to have this up on our Hit That Line podcast network, brought to you by Breeden RV. This is our most listened to podcast, and I think a lot of people are going to tune into it. If you didn't get to hear everyone's call, like Forest City Joe and others, again, you can find it on hitthatline.com and then also wherever you listen to podcasts. Derek, appreciate your time tonight. Good stuff. You'll be back with Zach on Monday. Tommy and I will be back Monday as well. Everyone have a great rest of your weekend. We'll talk then.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith now has vaccinations available for ages 5 and up. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna vaccines.